Smogon's Grand Slam is a tournament that features many current gen tiers, ranging from Little Cup to the Ubers that you see pictured here. Today, I'm going to be going over the match that decided the entire tournament between Gray Oak and Crying. Starting off the battle here, Gray Oak leads off with Darmanitan and is forced out by Necrozma Duskmane. He immediately goes into Landorus T due to the threat of Ironhead. Dodges the Toxic critically and U-turns out into Calyrex Shadow to threaten out the Necrozma. Instead of staying in and attacking, Gray Oak here decides to switch right back out to Darmanitan to get an advantageous position on Eternatus, and he uses this to get off a huge belly drum. And that scares out Crying's Necrozma. On the ensuing turn, he substitutes and gets a Salac Berry and takes the Ironhead. Now this Darmanitan is poised to sweep, and Gray Oak gets a huge Earthquake off on the Groudon switch. But Crying pulls out the Custat Berry to revenge kill the Darmanitan. That was an absolutely obscene turn and a quick exchange to start off the battle. Moving forward here, we have a little bit of a battle of attrition as the two who exchange hits, knockoffs, etc. in order to wear down the opposing team for the endgame. Okay, here, the Necrozma gets a knockoff to chip the Eternatus all the way down to 48%, and luckily gets Dragon-tailed out to Yveltal, which can threaten the Eternatus, so that it's forced to recover. Gray Oak goes into Calyrex here and gets a huge Psyshock off, taking out the Eternatus, which was a thorn in his side up to this point. Crying brings out their own Calyrex, and Gray decides to sack his Calyrex in order to get Psyshock damage off. This is essential because now Calyrex can only come in on Stealth Rock once before it's dead for the rest of this battle. So Crying's priority is going to be to defog away these Stealth Rocks in order to prevent the Calyrex from dying to them. As such, Ho-Oh will likely have to come in, which we will see right here as Gray Oak reads that and gets the Dragon Tail off into the already knocked off Yveltal, who is gonna get crit by Draco Meteor. That's a second huge KO picked up by Gray Oak. He eventually decides to Toxic on the Thunder Wave by Crying's Ho-Oh here, and now the defog is finally going to get off as Gray wants to heal up his Eternatus to be as healthy as possible for later in the match. Now Yveltal is back in on the Ho-Oh, and Gray is going to knock off the heavy duty boots so that Ho-Oh is no longer immune to Landorus T's Stealth Rock, which is obviously going to be very impactful here. And now Gray double switches right back out to his Landorus T in order to get the aforementioned Stealth Rock up to pressure the Ho-Oh and the Calyrex. But Crying smartly brings out her Calyrex and is going to come down with an Astral Barrage on Gray's Eternatus, which he smartly sacks in order to maintain HP on Yveltal. Yveltal comes in, and Crying is forced to switch out due to the immense threat of Sucker Punch, and Gray Oak gets a huge knockoff on the Necrozma. With Necrozma so low, Crying likely wants to switch out to Groudon on a full para to get some offensive momentum, and Gray goes into the Necrozma and wants to switch out to Landorus in order to dodge a potential Thunder Wave that would prevent it from being able to put in work later, and then U-turns the Necrozma right back in. And right here is a turning point in the endgame of this match. Gray Oak clicks Dragon Dance and reveals that it's actually a setup Necrozma, and takes out the Groudon. This forces in the Calyrex Shadow, which still outspeeds Necrozma after a Dragon Dance. So Gray Oak is forced to pull back into Yveltal on the Astral Barrage, which takes an insane amount of damage. Now, Gray does read the Necrozma switch yet again and gets a knockoff. Crying is clearly going to click defog here and hope to get a strong endgame victory with that Calyrex. However, There's one thing that Crying did not consider here. This Calyrex only has 2 PP left on Astral Barrage. So after sacking Landorus T, as well as Yveltal, this Calyrex is going to run out of Astral Barrage PP. And that's gonna get, with the Stealth Rock up, a victory for Gray Oak, as Necrozma can Dragon Dance on Struggle and take home the trophy for Gray Oak. This was an absolutely incredible battle to finish out a great tournament in between 2 powerful competitors in Crying and Gray Oak. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you want more competitive commentary, and have a wonderful day.